So guys, another week and we are back for some more Championship transfer rumours. As always, if you do go in to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you're seeing any other transfer rumours that we don't mention in today's video, get them in the comments down below. We've also had a few completed deals go through in the past week or so, so a lot to go over today. And just before we do hop into anything, a big shout out to our sponsors over at One Football. As always, you can find the new One Football app in the top line of the description down below. As the transfer window is still open, really handy app to go ahead and download to keep up to date with all the latest ongoings going on around your club. We've also got EFL Cup action going on tonight, so if you want to get live updates to your phone for that, and you can also now watch live selected UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League qualifying matches for free over on the app. So loads of new features about it. Go and check it out in the link down below. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into some completed deals. So we saw Birmingham complete the deal for Cardiff goalkeeper Neil Etheridge. Now I'm a big fan of this one. I know that G-Cock did really well for Birmingham at the weekend, but an experienced goalkeeper, it's what Birmingham have been crying out for a few years now, hasn't it? Lee Camp came in and was a placeholder and did alright for the time being, but long term, looking into the future, that was a position that Birmingham needed to solidify. A goalkeeper like Neil Etheridge got Premier League experience. Last season didn't have the best of years at Cardiff. He got displaced by Alex Smithies there. I mean, no doubt there's still a top goalkeeper there, and under a manager like Karanka, I'd back him to get Etheridge back to his best, so Birmingham, very good deal in that one. Young North End striker Ethan Walker's completed a loan deal to Carlisle. I think this one suits both parties. North End have quite high hopes for Ethan Walker, probably our brightest prospect coming up at the moment, so a loan out to League 2 makes sense at this point. Former Wigan Athletic captain Sam Morsi has made his move over to Middlesbrough. It's looking likely that he'll make his debut for them tonight in the AFL Cup against Barnsley. Really like Sam Morsi. I think he'll add a bit more bite to that Middlesbrough midfield, a good option. Also think he adds a little bit more energy into that role as well. The guy loves the yellow card, but I think he'll fit in quite well under Neil Warnock. Huddersfield completed the signing of Charlton defender Naby Sarr. Now, Naby Sarr had an interesting time in the Championship last season, didn't he? The player that I'd most compare him to that's like well known would be someone like a David Luiz. I think Naby Sarr's brilliant on the ball and bringing it out of defence, and on his day can be an absolute unit. I mean, the guy's 6'5", great in the air as well. However, there is a mistake in him. I think that Charlton fans would agree with that as well. He is, you know, quite prone to that now and again. But for the reaction I've seen online, I think that all the Charlton fans will be quite gutted to see him go, really. But towards the end, he did become a bit of a cult hero there, didn't he? I think with the football that Carlos Corberan's wanting to play at Huddersfield, Naby Sarr could be a decent fit into that, actually. Nottingham Forest completed the signing of PSG defender Logan Forrest. There was quite a bit of Championship interest in this guy, but Forest did get the deal over the line. I'm interested to see how he fits in and how much first team football he actually gets in this first season. Obviously, 19 years old, coming over from the French league. I think they were in need of a little bit more competition at the back, and he certainly adds that and has got potential going into the future. And Forest also completed the signing of goalkeeper Abdoulaye Diallo, coming over to add a bit more competition into their ranks as well as someone to push Samba. The goalkeeper, who's a Senegal international, spent the majority of his time so far playing in France. He has had a couple of years in Turkey, but Forest really haven't been messing around in this transfer window so far, have they? They've got business done and they've done it quite efficiently. But guys, there were some of the transfers that have been completed over the last week or so. Now, without any further ado, let's hop into some transfer rumours. So we may as well start out with North End, as there's quite a bit of speculation going on around us at the moment. The first transfer rumour being Daniel Johnson being heavily linked away with a move to Rangers. Now, quite a bit to unpack in this one. So Daniel Johnson, obviously Preston's player of the year from last season, our top scorer as well. Rangers launched an initial bid of around about £2 million if reports are to be believed. And I think in any sense really, 12 months left in his contract or not, that's going to be way under our valuation of the player. A Championship proven player who got 19 goal contributions last season with 12 goals and 7 assists. The going rate for that sort of player is going to be way more, even with 12 months left, Preston have been in this situation before, don't forget. Callum Robinson, we sold him with 12 months left in his contract. I think he ended up going for around about £7 million to Sheffield United. So that initial bid was never going to be accepted. Preston then went ahead and put out this statement after there were some reports coming out that we'd actually accepted the bid for him. This is what North End's statement had to say. Some of the so-called informed comments have claimed that transfer fees have been agreed between us and at least one other club for named players. At the time of writing this statement, no bids for any of our players have been agreed. Any approaches that have been made have been underwhelming in both quantum and payment timescales. We've always accepted that buying and selling players is a normal part of our business, but at the right price. Some of the so-called informed comments on social media are not only unhelpful, but frankly not true. Reports that have come out today are suggesting that North End are looking for around £4 to £5 million for Daniel Johnson, which, I mean, to me at least seems way under par, but I suppose with 12 months left in his contract, probably is the sort of price that we would be leaning towards. In terms of the type of player that Daniel Johnson is, in case any Rangers fans are watching, I'd massively miss him at North End. I think he's got real quality about him. I think that if you play him as a number 10, he's guaranteed goals and assists. He absolutely thrives in that role. We have spent a bit of his time at North End playing him a little bit deeper, and he is a little bit more hit and miss in that sort of deep lane playmaker role. He can go missing at times in that area, but when he's played as a number 10 and is that focal point for your side going forward, he pulls the strings for you. He's heavily involved. It wouldn't be the end of the world. We do have other players who could step up into that position. You know, Alan Brown, who's been playing out at right back recently. Let's not forget he's got into double figures playing in that role before. Josh Harrop, who we got coming through, I've still got very high hopes for him. So we'll see where this one goes. If I had to put money on it, I'd say he is more likely to leave than he is to stay, but it's still, you know, we've still got quite a while to go of this transfer window. And then to another North End player who's been linked away at the moment, Ben Davis, our centre half. Now, there were reports in national media that we turned down a bid of 5 million. It turns out that that bid was looking more towards the 3 million mark. Now, another player with only 12 months left in his contract who, if we don't tie down, we're going to struggle to keep hold of. Now, I mentioned Daniel Johnson. I think we've got those replacements in the squad. It would be a miss him leaving, but I think we could replace him. Ben Davis, on the other hand, though, I think we'd really struggle without him. He is the pendulum that keeps our team ticking from the back. I think with the way we play under Alex Neil, the role of Ben Davis can't be underestimated. He's absolutely pivotal to us. You know, that left-footed centre-half who's able to bring the ball out from the back and into midfield. Got a brilliant passing range on him. English left-footed. He's got all these attributes about him rolled into one. So comfortable on the ball, reads the game excellently. In terms of the money that Bournemouth would be looking at, I mean, like a 3 million bid's way off the mark, even with 12 months left in his contract. He's very much our prize asset. You know, he's a homegrown player. He's come up through the youth academy. In previous windows, there has been Premier League interest. I think it's the general consensus among the fan base that he will go on to play in the Premier League. He's that good. I think with the general going rate of centre-backs now, especially English ones, you're looking at least 6 or 7 million for Davis. Even that seems really cheap to me, but with the contract situation, it's a really tough one for North End. If we do sell both of those players, it's going to be a real uphill battle for us to replace them. And we spoke about this transfer rumour last time, but it's looking like it's edging closer and could be announced as soon as today or in the next following days. Kamil Jozefzoon being linked with a move to Derby County. Now, I'm very excited about this one. Derby were in desperate need of a little bit more creativity and spark and firepower going forward. That much was evident at the weekend, and with a player like Jozefzoon, if they do get this one over the line, I think everyone at Derby's got to be absolutely buzzing about this one. The Polish international, only 22 years old, has got a bunch of potential about him, but I know highlight reels can be a little bit misleading, but looking into some of them, the guy's got pace to burn. He looks really skillful. Good end product as well. Scored 9 goals last season for Lech Poznan. Just the sort of player that Derby were missing. Very exciting times. And he could also be joined by Jordan Ibe, obviously available on a free transfer this summer. This would be some serious statement from Derby if they get both these deals over the line now. Jordan Ibe, obviously, things didn't work out for him at Bournemouth after that £15 million move. However, after previously having a successful loan spell at Derby, he already knows the club, and the guy's only 24 years old as well, and I'm in no doubts that at championship level he'd still be able to really be an effective player at this level. I think especially towards the end of his time at Bournemouth, he seemed like a shadow of his former self, really, didn't he? He seemed to lose a bit of confidence, but I think that building himself back up in the championship with a team like Derby on the up at the moment, with a manager like Philip Koku, I don't think there's a lot wrong with that one, especially on a free transfer. And Derby have now been linked back with a move for former championship top scorer Matej Vydra. Now, what a player he was for Derby back in that 17-18 season. 22 goals that year, championship golden boot. He was absolutely ripping it up. Derby are definitely in the market for a striker still, but from his time at Derby, if I remember rightly, he was mostly played as that number 10, wasn't he? So if he does make that move back, I'm interested to see what sort of role Koku sees him having in that Derby side. But from his time at Burnley, Vydra is like the least Burnley-esque footballer I can think of, really, playing for that Burnley side at the moment, and that's by no means disrespecting Burnley, but he's a bit more of a technical player, got very good movement about him, isn't he? And from his time at Burnley in the Premier League so far, has sort of been in and out of that squad, mostly been used as an impact sub. If he did make the move back to the Championship, I'm in no doubt he'd absolutely rip it up again. Blackburn Rovers still very much in the market for another centre-half. They have been heavily linked with a move recently for Daniel Ayala, now available on a free transfer, previously of Middlesbrough. I was shocked when I found out that he was still in his 20s. He's only 29. I thought he was at least 30, knocking on for 32, 33, something like that, but still very much in the prime of his career. You'd say has been a little bit injury prone over his last couple of seasons with Middlesbrough. However, the recent reports are that Blackburn have offered him a 3-year deal, which may be too good to turn down at this point of his career. There were also reports previously linking him to Saudi Arabia. I think Ayala has that decision to make up, but if Blackburn did get over the line, I think, you know, a very good defender at this level, just a question of keeping him fit, really, albeit a different defender to Adarabioyo, who they had on loan last season, but still be a good option nonetheless. Swansea now reportedly interested in Monaco winger Samuel Granso. We spoke about this transfer rumour in the last one when Derby were linked to him, and it's now looking like Swansea are in pursuit shoot. According to recent reports, it would cost them about 2.3 million. Swansea would prefer a loan to buy option, whereas Monaco are just looking to sell. And like we mentioned last time, the player's got a clear pedigree, but Swansea are obsessed with wingers, aren't they? You'd think that it would be a centre forward that they'd be in the market for, which they may still be. You know, this player's clearly got talent, but an interesting one nonetheless with the recruitment they've already done. Birmingham have been linked with Ipswich striker Caden Jackson. Now, normally I wouldn't think that that would be an awful option as like a budget option perhaps, but the fee being talked about at the moment, 2.5 million, seems a bit steep to me. I think the player's only got 1 year left in his contract, although I do believe Ipswich have the choice to extend that. Don't get me wrong, he had a decent season in League One last time. He scored 11 goals, got 7 assists as well, in a side who struggled, albeit for creativity last season. I think it's fair to say Ipswich in League One. Good amount of pace going forward, can get in behind and play off the shoulder. Last time he was at this level though, less than inspiring. I think he scored 3 goals for Ipswich. I feel like that one could be a bit of a plan B option for Birmingham. I'm a little bit on the fence about that one. I've seen Rotherham as the latest club to be linked with Villa striker Keane and Davis. Now, I believe his contract is expiring at the end of the season, but there have been some rumblings that Villa will be offering him a new 3-year contract as of recording. I think it's all dependent on what happens with his contract situation at Villa. If he does extend that, I can see him going out on loan to the Championship perhaps. If not, obviously they risk him leaving for free on a permanent deal. North End have also been linked, but we seem to be a little bit slow off the mark with anything really. And at this moment in time, it seems like Crystal Palace are most interested in Brentford winger Benrahma. Could you imagine him, Eze and Zaha in the same team as like a forward 3 playing behind the striker? Jesus, there would be some sauce in that team. But anyway, Benrahma, there has been a rumour going around recently that Crystal Palace are most interested in loaning him for the season, then with an obligation to buy him next season. I'd assume that that would have something to do with finance and things like that, but with the way that Brentford run, I can't see them going for that deal if the rumour is even true. Sticking with Brentford, centre-back Pontus Janssen has been linked with move to West Ham. Now, Brentford have been very vocal in this transfer market so far that they're willing to sell Ollie Watkins, he's now gone, and Benrahma, but the rest of the squad is not for sale now. Janssen last season, crucial player for Brentford. I thought they stumbled a little bit while he was out injured. West Ham are also trying to pursue a deal for James Tarkowski. If that one doesn't come off, then it seems like this one could be their plan B option. Now, Janssen, I rate. I think, like I said, he was a pivotal part of that defence from last season, although I am interested that there's not been more interest in Ethan Pinnock, who I'd argue was a little bit better and at a younger age as well. But Janssen has those leadership qualities about him. I can't see them wanting to sell. Both Middlesbrough and Millwall have been linked with a move for Forest midfielder Ryan Yates. I'd be interested to get Forest fans' perspectives on him in the comments down below, because I've looked into social media a little bit and there's a bit of a mixed reaction to this rumour, I think it's fair to say, within the Forest fans. 22 years old, the rumour is that Forest want around 2 million for him. Forest fans, I'd love to get your view on this one. And then finally, Everton have been the latest club to be linked to Bournemouth striker Joshua King. I think it's more than likely that he's going to be off this window, just a question of where. Everton reportedly have been running a bid of around about £10 million, whereas Bournemouth are looking more towards that 15 million mark. I think it's understandable to see why there's so much interest. Man United been long-term admirers, obviously previously came up through their academy. Spurs been interested as well. Good goal scoring record in the Premier League, you can see where the interest has come from. But guys, there we have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. So like I say, if you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like and feel free to leave any other rumours that we didn't mention today in the comments down below. Now we do have EFL Cup action going on tonight, so feel free to leave what you think is going to happen in the comments down below. My side, Preston's taking on Derby, which, I mean, it's hard to make score predictions for these sorts of games because you don't really know how strong your lineup's going to be, but going to be an interesting one nonetheless. So like I say guys, make sure to stick around and subscribe for a bit of regular Championship content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.